Yo, parish orphans and retrogrades. Welcome to a weekend edition of the show. Today, I've promised to all of you a large personal announcement. That large personal announcement we'll tend to in 1 second. And it's a family show. Sometimes it gets a little blue, but it is a family show for right-wing people, for Catholic people. And today is a family episode of a family show because we're going to be talking about things like what are the basics of the Christian family? How does it work? What does day-to-day look like? Should the kids have reading times? How does weekday and weekend day-to-day look different? What about screen time? What's the material for reading? What's the material for movies as a family? What's the rigmarole with prayer time? What does date night look like between my wife and myself? What's the babysitting situation? We know women don't handle stress well. They really don't.
No.
So how do I minimize stress in Steph's life? What'd you say?
I said, oh boy, they do not.
How horribly women handle stress. You're bad at stress, ladies. Here, let's use this camera so I look like the same. I hate
like that.
I hate on this camera how I look tiny. I'm not a tiny man. I don't like looking tiny. All right,
Here,
so
let me zoom you in. Let me get the ratio.
So that's the content we have for you now, because everyone knows that even if some people consider the Gordon family, because of Timothy J. Gordon, the head of it, a trad family because we're Latin Mass type people, we're not LARPers. I don't come to you in a suit. I don't put on airs. I don't say "milady" to my wife or whatever. I don't, do the cigar and whiskey thing that dorks started thinking makes them cool. I'm not saying everyone that likes whiskey or cigars is a dork, but most of them are. I just do my thing. I don't honor all of the conventional nomos derivative bumper lanes for like what a traditional man looks like. I don't talk like one. I've got this dumbass California accent. I wish I could get rid of it. And people are like, "What's up, surfer dude?" I'm like, I'm not a surfer dude.
It's like the SNL skit, the Californians.
California. Yeah. I hate my accent. I wasn't a surfer. I was a skater guy when I was young. So they'll try to hold that against me. Like, how could this guy be a trad? He's a skater. I'm like, well, I never really said I was a trad. I do, however, live with modifications, one of the most traditional lives of anyone on like social media. Mm-hmm. And that's funny because my wife doesn't have a phone. My wife respects me a lot. Me and my wife are homies. My wife is my helpmeet. My wife's by my side. We don't really go out much by day. If anyone's going to go run the errands, it'll be me. Maybe she'll be with me, but we're not LARPers. We don't, I don't avoid seed oils. I don't raise like goats and shit. I don't know. I wouldn't know how to.
My facial moisturizer is from like a goat farm. So that's like as close as we get to like.
But we don't raise the goats ourselves. We don't know how to plant vegetables. We don't know, give me the Twinkie. So we don't do the LARP thing, but the way the household operates, and we do show our kids the Harry Potter movies, great movies. They're so much fun. We our kids don't have phones, but we do watch a lot of fun movies together. Some of them are R. So I'm a come as you are guy. And it just so happens that our household actually operates really traditionally. And everyone that meets our kids is like, wow, you guys have a good time together. We play together and we pray together. And I bring it as I am. I was never a surfer dude, contrary to what dumbasses from the middle of the country think. We all sound like this in California. It's a really dumb sounding place.
Can't help it.
Can't help it. I wasn't a surfer dude. I was a skater guy, but I was much better at basketball, more basketball white guy. And I bring it as I am. And I'm just this brilliant, handsome, I don't know, traditional husband that men want to be and women want to be with. I don't know what else to say. I bring it. I have a million problems like womanizing and I'm just kidding.
Oh boy.
Doing
started off salty.
Michael Gary Scott. The point is, Steph and I are equipped to actually answer these questions because people actually want this kind of lifestyle. Traditional in the ways that matter, and coming as you are in the ways that are honest. And we really do manage to have a household. We do homeschool, but we don't like farm sheep or carrots or whatever. We don't have to schlep the family around this hellish to abide this hellish suburban routine. But we do have a good time. We watch a lot of movies together. We play a lot of video games together. I take my son hunting. So we're just kind of a mix. In all the principal ways, you never compromise. On everything else, you can compromise. So we're going to answer these questions. But first, we promised this big announcement. So I'm a 44-year-old man.
You're just going to let it stop there.
44-year-old man. That's the announcement. Steph is a 62-year-old woman.
That's so
I'm
mean.
44. She's 62. We're like
61.
We're like Macron and his wife.
Oh, boy.
And, she's 18 years older than I am. And we just have this intense chemistry.
But I am a woman.
But you're a woman. You're just 18 years older. And we found out about a month and a half ago, 7 weeks ago, that Stephanie is pregnant with our 8th child. So it's another girl. This is not a surprise. We only do girls, save for our one little miracle boy. That'll be 7 little girls and 1 little boy. And they're all great kids, and we love them dearly. And this is why, so this is incredible. For 44, 40, 43 is what you are. I'm 44. And this is another proof of concept that this stupid debate over this made up term, it's not even a real thing. NFP is retarded, because if you just like each other, when you're married, do it a lot. And even if you're sort of like, I'm assuming I'm past fertility, or we're cool with being past fertility, or doing it on certain days rather than others, there's always a possibility of getting pregnant, even when you're old as dust, the way Steph is. So.
Turns out my half Mexicanity really overcame the age on that. Like, I'll just be fertile until I'm probably in my 60s. I'm actually 62.
You are actually 62. Don't lie now, just to get out of the. So that's it. So little girl number 7, total child number 8. We're hyper fertile. Did you guys know that if you have 5 or more kids, ladies, and you start by the time you're 30, your chances of the 3 big female cancers are cut in half? If you have 5 or more kids and you begin by the time you're 30, cervical cancer, uterine cancer, and booby cancer are cut in half. Isn't that amazing?
Incredible.
They don't tell you that. All this cancer, get a new test every 35 seconds, get a screen, stick this there, chomp down on this, bend over and, wince here. You don't have to do it. Just have a lot of kids, be open to life, love your ladies, love and obey your husbands, and men, rule with an iron fist, and you'll have a good life. So we're going to teach you today. It's an applied sort of announcement. We have another announcement, a big professional announcement next week that will excite people. Will be more relevant to you. People are like, great, you're having another kid. Whoop-de-doo. What is that to us, bro? But we have an announcement that it concerns all of you, particularly those who have been waiting on pins and needles for more and more content from this channel. We have an announcement, and it's very exciting. It's going to be a very good deal. It's going to be a very big deal. I'm trying to not talk like Donald J. Trump now, where he's like, it's going to be amazing. It's going to be huge. It's going to be huge, but it will. So I'm not going to lie. But anyway, so we have our 8th kid. You guys don't care. We're excited. We're excited. We're marginally excited.
It's funny because when we found out this time, everybody was asking us, like, do you think it's going to be a boy or a girl? And we were just laughing. We're like, oh, my brother and sisters in Christ. We have 7 girls. Like, it's like, this is not, or we had 6 girls at the time, but like now we have 7. We have 1 son. So it's kind of a miracle that I think we even have the 1 son. Clearly God is, like, I guess, shining his light upon our anti-feminism message. So he's just giving us many, many girls to like throw into the world with a good head on their shoulders. So
they're good girls.
Yeah.
They're good girls. They're sweet. They're pretty. They're skinny. They're really, really nice. They hate feminism. They hate feminists. They hate, faggots. They just don't. And I mean that ecumenically. They don't like weak guys. They don't like weirdo guys. They're raised the right way. The girls that they just don't like faggots. So they're really cool little Gordon chicks. I'm so proud of our kids. They're so good. They're such good little Christians. And when we did it all without LARPing. Mm-hmm. So, pay attention to what we have to say in today's episode if you want. But that other announcement's coming up. By the way, apropos of having a 10th little Gordon running around, I'll say this, locals, we need your local support. Keeps the lights on these faces. And we need monthly support. And I try not to talk about it much because I don't like the begging, but support us on locals. Super chat us. Super chats are a great way if you're feeling saucy one day. Like today, this is a great day to super chat us a question. We appreciate big super chats. And we appreciate monthly locals because I got kicked off Patreon, as you know, and I'm not gonna beg to them to keep my large Patreon account. We didn't replace it entirely with locals. So if you want to support us monthly, $20, $30 a month, $10 a month, this is gonna be well spent. It's gonna be well spent with all these little Gordon girls running around. And we'll tell you what the name is once we decide on it. It's just crazy because we're old. We're like Abraham and Sarah. Abram and Sarai.
It's funny because we watched what was the Father of the Bride 2. Mm-hmm. After we found out, because we were kind of just laughing, we were just like, we thought number 7 was going to be the last one because we're just getting older and it's just harder and everything. But it's like, no, not at all. So it was just funny. We were like watching like movies about like elderly women having children. It's like I can commiserate with this woman. Like my friends are like in their 20s and having babies, and I'm like, and here I am.
Diane Keaton just died. I mean, she was in that movie, I guess, a while ago, but she just died. That's how old she is. She was having kids a little bit before she died. Not really, because it was fictitious Diane Keaton, and Father of the Bride 2 was many years ago. Feminist movie, but still a really fun one. Anyway.
And I'll just say, too, like, please do pray. I mean, one of the reasons we did want to talk about it today is that it is obviously at this age, there's always a potential for complications, but particularly in my case, because our firstborn Abby was born in Italy under very dire circumstances. So I had to have an emergency C-section with her. And
every pregnancy since then has been a C-section.
Every single one. So I've had every single one of my children by C-section, and it does get a little bit more scary the more you go along. And of course, our secular doctors, we have a great doctor now, Dr. Cootie. He is a very great Catholic doctor, and he's had great success with lots of women who've had multiple C-sections.
Friend of the show.
Friend of the show. He's been on before. Great OBGYN, Catholic OBGYN, but they, the secular doctors I was seeing were just giving me all sorts of horror stories. I even remember after Abby, they were telling me like, oh, you should only have 1 or 2 more kids. Like you can't have any more kids. And here we are on number 8. So
every one of them C-sections. The twins were a 2-for-1 deal, but pray for us. Yeah, everyone knows Abby's about 17, coming up to 17 and a half. That's our eldest, born in Italy. It was a crazy series of brain surgeries and basically a hemispherectomy of 5.5 years ago. We've been through it, man, with the kids. And that was kid number 1. People will say to us like, yo, you had a really, really messed up foreign birth with a bunch of brain surgeries and a neuro ward baby in little Abigail. Didn't that make you scary to have more kids? And we're like, no. I mean, this is life. C'est la vie. You get one life here below and one life to live. Kids are the point. Kids really are the point of the secular life. All these LARPs are like, oh, you can't enjoy doing it with your spouse. I mean, that's stupid. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Put a bag over your spouse's head. But the point of life and the point of marriage really is procreation. That's not LARPy to say. No. You feel it. If you hit 35 and you don't have kids, you know what we're talking about. So having 8, it's the one thing I'm greedy for. I don't care about money. That's why I don't bother you guys about the locals. I don't bother, hit us up on Donor Box. People are always asking, hey, tell us what the deal is with Abby. We want to help with Abby. No, you can donate at timothyjgordon.com. But I don't bother you guys about it much because I don't care. The one thing I'm greedy for at this point is children. And I get worried about Steph with the multiple C-sections, but if we could have another pair of twins and hit 9, 10
Oh boy.
when you're like 46 in 2 or 3 more years, then I think that would be dope. And we're the least LARPy kids on the block in the Catholic world, in the far right-wing Catholic world, in the so-called trad Catholic world. We're
just normal people.
We're normal people that hate women. And hate,
oh boy.
and you're like, Steph, you're the only person out here that's written a book, woman out here that writes books for women, that's bringing the full Christian truth. I guess Rachel Wilson too, but I mean among Catholics. Mm-hmm. And you guys know that this episode today is special because we're telling you how we do it. Not how we do it, but we're telling you how it's done, where we enjoy our life. And we kind of tell you in this book, Ask Your Husband, how do we actually apply the principles of household patriarchy in a fun way where we're playing video games and watching movies. And Steph's book, Steph's book is Ask Your Husband. Our book together is called Leave and Cleave. And kind of together, these 2 bad boys are they're a nice sort of proof that you don't have to be some dork, some milady, medieval times, Tolkien Hobbit dork. And we do love Tolkien, but you don't have to act like a hobbit to be a good Catholic family. You don't have to farm. So today is all about, I'm going to get to it right now, the how-tos of marriage in a way that you actually enjoy it if you were raised in the 21st century.
Can I say quickly, just because I know there's women out there that are in kind of a similar situation as me. We took a great question, I think about 3 or 4 shows ago, where a man had said that his wife had multiple miscarriages, and just kind of the scary nature of bringing children into the world, particularly, I guess, from the female perspective, because we're very, our bodies are involved right away. And we were talking about how there is this, even at my age with this many C-sections and what have you, it's it's scary. But one of the things that I really loved about something that Father Ripperger said about Our Lady was that she was always willing to sacrifice herself for God. She was at every opportunity. She really looked for those opportunities to, give herself fully to God. And I really do think about that in relation to childbearing. So women who've had multiple miscarriages, you had children die. We heard about Kennedy Hall's family. They lost a child a couple hours after birth. Whatever happens with this pregnancy, hopefully everything will continue to go well and everything will, we'll have a very safe delivery and what have you. But whatever happens out there, whatever your situation is with childbearing, it's you giving yourself. There's beauty in expressing your femininity if you're able to do so by having children. And it's always worth it. And it always is just you giving yourself to God in a way that women really can. And so I really, even when we found out I was only a couple of weeks pregnant, I know a lot of people are very hesitant to announce that, especially my age, because, miscarriage is very high for women my age. I think it's like something crazy, like 53% of women my age have miscarriages in the first 12 weeks. I still kind of wanted to announce because I was like, this still is a life. We're still very thankful and proud of this. And regardless of what happens, this is something to be celebrated. So
even if we're old.
Even if we're...
You're old. You're old. No, I'm technically older. That's why I like to make these jokes.
Likes to poke the fun.
But see, look, one thing I was going to point out, you did a tweet from my account that was like, Unk is on TikTok. No one gives us the Unk thing because we're so young looking. We're so young and attractive that we both look like we're 35. And so no one ever thinks we're old.
The lighting is good in here.
It's the genes. What was that ad? We have good genes. No, I mean, it's the lighting helps, but we don't act old. We don't look old, but we are old. So the how-tos of marriage. How-tos of marriage. All right. So you start this out, Steph. What does a day in the life of the Gordon household look like? Let's do weekdays first, then weekends.
Our main focus, so this is a question that we got from a friend of ours. So starting the question and answer. So if you want to post those questions, please do in chat. We'll try to get through everybody. So a day in a life, what, day in a week or day in a life for us?
Well, you know, a day in the week of our lives.
The day in a week of our lives.
I don't think that changes. The unit of measurement is day.
Our big thing is that we like to do everything together. We realized very young when Abby was born that our time together is very, very sparse. And so we really do try to spend as much time as a family as possible because it just goes so fast. So really our entire day is about working in just time where we're always doing something as a family. Eating, obviously, praying, obviously, but playing, we play video games a lot. We do our homeschool in the morning, but it's funny because some of our kids are just like, I just need to have some alone time because we're always, always, always together. If Tim has a speaking gig or whatever, we're always with him. So it's just something, our main focus, I think, throughout raising our children has just been we're together. We're together all the time.
Yeah, so weekdays, since we started this homeschool co-op, I think you can go to Timothy J. Gordon. We're going to be taking new applications. We have like 16 families that do our homeschool co-op. I teach the classes, diagramming of sentences, Latin, math. We started this fall. It's gone very well. If you guys want to join that, you should. It starts at 9 a.m. And we all wake up at about 8:59 in 30 seconds. Because we're not early to rise people. We're not early to bed people. We're very late to bed people. So we wake up now, and it's nice because it's got us being actually strict about getting up and homeschooling the kids at 9. Sometimes it would slip to 9:30, 10, whatever before we were doing this. But now other people are relying on us. So we get up, brew some coffee, get in our homeschool classroom, and we do film it. So we have cameras and stuff in there so that everyone can see. Do a diagramming class from 9 to 10, and I'm free to kind of leave the last 15 or 20 minutes because the kids are doing problems. I'll go drink some coffee, goof around with Steph in the kitchen. 10 to 11 is Latin. 11 to nearly 12 is the math. And so, by the time we're done, there's everyone's hungry for lunch. So we'll have lunch. But we don't really eat lunch that early. We'll kind of just goof around. Sometimes in October, I was going for a bike ride or playing basketball with the kids. Yeah. And yes, our little girls like to recreationally play basketball with us. Me and Gaby out in the driveway. So we'll go goof around, ride bikes when the weather's nice, or go do something just around our neighborhood. I ride bikes with the children. I told you I'm like a 44-year-old child. Play basketball with the children for, until 1:30. Sometimes we'll go into town and grab some Chick-fil-A or something, or we'll just grab something around the house, and then a lot of times Steph and I, after lunch, we'll take a walk. We do long walks around our neighborhood, and, come in. And if it's, 3 or something. Oh, we always pray before we eat. We always pray before school. We pray a decade of the rosary with the little kids at night. Occasionally we'll do a full rosary, but we'll do a decade of the rosary with all the kids at night. And so, between 3:30 and dinner, Steph will get dinner ready or pick something out. We kind of have our time. We'll sometimes be playing the Switch, or we'll play a video game. So again, we'll have errands in town. The kids always sort of fight to see who gets to go on errands. Have dinner, and then we're relaxing that night. Now, people have asked about things like reading. Relaxing. The kids are either playing on their iPads, or sometimes I'll be reading Lord of the Rings. In the fall, we like to do that, but that hasn't been so much this year. A lot of times we'll just pick out a movie and we'll watch that. We like watching the Stranger Things series. We've rewatched that several times. That's a big deal. It's 11 days away, Stranger Things finale. And we'll pray before bed. We go to bed kind of late, probably too late. The kids a lot of times sleep on what we call mega couch out in the den. Some of the kids will go up to their rooms, but a lot of the kids will just fall asleep on the couch. Didn't we post a picture of that
on Locals? Because a lot of people are asking about our mega couch. Like our friends, it's a thing. Like everybody in our families, our friends, anybody who visits our house knows about Mega Couch. It's a big deal around here. Like, we
pretty well known.
Fit a lot of people on Mega Couch to watch movies.
We did post that on Locals.
Okay.
And it's very comfortable to fall asleep on. So half the kids fall asleep on that. Half the kids come up here near the studio to sleep. And we wake up the next weekday and do it all over again. But the cool, and the girls take turns doing the kitchen and the dishes, and Steph's cleaning throughout the whole day. And, we bake a lot in the fall. The girls bake a lot in the fall. I bake a lot of pumpkin pies in the fall. It's the one thing.
People are always shocked to know that, right? That you do that.
That's the only real baking I do. Weekends, we kind of do whatever we want. Sometimes we'll take little trips. Sometimes we'll go to New Orleans. We'll go to Pels games or the TLM. Mm-hmm. But I mean, it all kind of slows to a halt when you're pregnant, because we are trying to take care of you. So we do a lot of walking, and we do whatever we want on the weekends. We are late to bed people.
Very late.
We pray throughout the day. I mean, we pray at the beginning of school. We pray at the beginning of every meal. We pray at least the decade of the rosary at night, and try to go to confession often. I don't know. So we're just pretty basic. We don't really want to have cows. We have to go out and slop or whatever you do with cows.
Oink the pigs, slop the hogs.
Yeah, I never wanted to do any of that. So we don't do that. We just play outside, have fun, play video games, watch movies, pray together, spend time together. I'm not the kind of guy that's looking to leave the house, really. Weekdays, weekends blend into each other. It's a good life, and that's what our household looks like.
It was a bit crazy the first 3 months of my pregnancy, though, because I have very, very extreme pregnancy nausea. Like, extreme. Like, I feel like I have like the stomach flu for 3 months straight. Like, the second I wake up to the minute I go to bed, it's like on. So it's like, I don't know, maybe some of the locals noticed that some of the shows those few months we were having some, late shows, and then we weren't having as many as normal, but that was why, because I couldn't even climb the stairs to get up to the studio. It was like so queasy. So it's just like, it's nice to be back kind of into our regular routine again, where I'm not just like suffering and begging for death on the couch.
You were suffering.
I'm so queasy. Oh gosh, it's so bad.
Steph's not physically tough, but she's mentally very tough. Of course, she's weak little arms, but she's mentally tough. But she really doesn't like being queasy, and that was the queasiest ever. So it's a God blessing. Now we didn't announce this till we're at 15. You're 15 weeks pregnant, so it should be okay.
Over 3 months now, I think.
Yeah. So that's good. Next question: reading time. How long and what material? We go and out. Well, Steph, now we'll talk about your reading list. Do you have your reading list on you?
I don't have my Kindle.
You've read about 40 books in 2025, and they're real books. Impressive reading list. I've never read 40 real books, long books. You've read Tolstoy. You've read so much.
If you see me, you see my Kindle. My Kindle is always like around me somewhere.
Kindle's with her. She's a serious
I'm
reader.
I'm surprised it's not up here right now.
And like, people all think that I read nonstop. I had to read a lot in grad school. I go in and out of phases where I will read a lot of philosophy, but I've been out of it for a while, out of the philosophy reading phase. Now I'm technically in a doctoral program, so I have to read hard stuff like Domingo Banez and have to prepare for debates with Jay Dyer. But I'm not a natural for fun reader, because I was an athlete. I like to be moving around. Our kids have that. So our kids are really, really, really smart, but none of them just love curling up with a book. Steph's the only one in the family that does that. We instituted last spring, everyone sit down and read for 45 minutes together, and that lasted for a couple, 3 months. Some summers make them read, sometimes we don't. We fluctuate. I'm always amazed by these families. Like, this is what we've done for 10 years. Like, the seasons of life happen and you change.
And Tim hates just routine, meaning like we have a roundabout way our day runs, but he gets really depressed if it's like every day we're doing the exact same thing. So he really likes to mix things up. So for him, like, doing things like by the hour, a certain time every day, he's never been like that. I'm a little bit more that way, but still not too much. So it works nicely.
Yeah. So what material, whatever we think will best capture their attention. I mean, the girls are going to be going through the church through history class that I've given, because I made all these classes. So now they can use them in their homeschooling and I don't have to repeat them all. But for pleasure reading, I think one of the kids was reading Hobbit. One was reading Lord of the Ring, Fellowship. One was reading Harry Potter. Oh my gosh. Clutch my pearls. Those are the bigger girls. And
for our son, who is like younger, I started doing the Who Would Win series. They're actually kind of fun for boys. It's hilarious. I actually love reading it with him. It'll be like a hammerhead shark versus like a bull shark, and it'll go through and it'll say like who would win in an epic battle between these two beasts, and it'll be, some of them are funny, like a tarantula versus like a scorpion and stuff. So those are fun for the little kids. Yeah, like some of the older kids, I wish they had some of my love for reading. I could sit and read all day long if you let me. So I wish I could have passed that on to the kids. That's so far.
But it's an illiterate society thing. In an illiterate society where people are stupid and have low IQs, they start saying something like reading itself is good. Like reading, I'd rather see the kids running around outside. I think that's the only thing that's fundamentally healthy. I don't think reading itself is good. That's what people say in lower IQ families. Like, our kids are really bright. They're intelligent. They know how to read. I don't think there's anything inherently better about just sitting down and our kid reads the Goosebumps series. I mean, it's fun. It's wholesome, but it's really wholesome to be outside riding their bikes as well. And our girls have gotten really into that. Gabe learned to ride a bike without training wheels. Under 8 years old. I was proud of him for that. And he's getting really into basketball. I love that. So, they know how to read and they're really bright kids. I think only dumb people trying to sound smart say like reading is always good. It's just not true. Smart people with high IQs aren't all necessarily the kind that read for fun. I read before a debate. I read before I go take an oral examination in a PhD program. I have had periods in my life where I read for fun, but prayer is a little bit the same because people are asking about prayer time. One thing that strikes me that I like about what is kind of being popularized with the younger guys coming into the church, largely because the Groypers, is the honesty. Like a lot of times if you talk to a guy that prays a lot, he'll be the kind of guy that doesn't talk a lot. Most men are talkative and want to talk a lot. And if you ask him, well, why don't you talk so much? Why don't you interact? I had this with one of my friends who was a really quiet guy, really prayerful, quiet guy. He's like, I don't have as much to say. There's a different amount of words that different temperaments feel inclined to speak in the average day. Well, that's fair. That's true. I have to accept that. But that's what prayer is. Some people are just less talkative to God. Some people, and maybe they're the quieter folks that are less conversational with humans, are maybe they have more to say in their prayer life to God and they do more mental prayer. That's great. But I don't, if there aren't like precepts of the faith that dictate how much you have to pray. I think the catechism says if your only prayer per week, Will Nolan told me this, is going to the daily mass, you will not incur even venial sins. So if you're just a more laconic guy in prayer and you're just like, well, I love God with my whole heart, I don't have as much to say, I pray to him fervently at the mass, then that's fine. And that's what the catechism says. So it's not like, oh, how many do you do, 15 or 25 private devotions and all that? Like, if you're waking up, consecrating your day with what do we say at the beginning of, what's that prayer at the beginning of
Jesus
school?
Help Me prayer.
Well, I say the Jesus Help Me prayer at the beginning of Latin. At the other stuff, I consecrate every act in the schoolroom to Jesus. So I do that at the beginning of each class, and it's kind of a beginning of the day prayer. Grace before meals, where you're being sincere, and we kind of pray for our dead relatives at grace before meals, and then a rosary or part of a rosary every night. Some people are just more laconic with prayer, and I don't like the same kind of LARPy people get with reading. Dumb people think you have to say you read a lot to sound smart. A lot of dumb people like reading. A lot of smart people don't love reading recreationally. And a lot of really holy people pray in different ways. So, some people pray more, some people pray less. I'm not saying I'm really holy. I'm just saying I, try to be a decent Christian. I'm not holding myself out as an exemplar of holiness. I'm sure you could pray a lot more than me and do well by it. But, it's not like I ever go a significant portion of the day without saying a quick prayer. And I love that Jesus help me prayer. But you tend to pray a lot more when you're having a period of anxiety. So prayer time is with the family. It's before meals, it's before classes, and it's before sleep.
Yeah, and that's the other thing too with women who stay at home. You can really refine that. So that's some of the things a lot of people will say. Well, I would stay home, but I don't have enough. What will I do all day? It's like, do you realize that like there's an art form to proper prayer, and it requires a lot of practice, interior prayer, and that's something that women, when they're home, can just do a lot. Like that's what I do. I'm kind of uncomfortable doing things like publicly, if you will. So it's like I don't really like praying publicly. I don't like opening presents in front of people. Like I'm very private, despite the fact that I have my face on here right now. But it's like I am a very private person in general. And so for me, prayer has always been far more natural, just interiorly. And I do that a lot throughout the day, where it's almost just like a constant, I would know, it sounds kind of fake and gay, but to call it like a constant dialogue with God, or asking Our Lady to intercede for me, particularly in becoming, a better wife, a better mom, identifying my shortcomings and blind spots, things like that. Like I do try to check in a lot through the day. And that's just where I'm just more comfortable. But I understand, like as the head of the household, you really want, the family participating in that as a group. And so that's usually when I do.
Let's see.
There's a question in chat about like cleaning. Let me see. It was kind of funny.
Steph's an amazing cleaner. She'll be clean. We'll be in between a movie that we'll watch kind of while we're eating dinner, whatever you call it. And then we're going to switch over to playing video games. And Steph's like, let's everyone take 10 minutes. You kids buzz through and clean this. I'm going to mop this real quick. We'll do this, that, and the other thing. And Steph will just clean the whole house a few times a day in like 10 minutes.
Yeah,
it just looks, it's not acceptable to be like, well, because we have a semi-large family, it's just a pigsty all the time. Ladies out there do better, lady. But ladies are always telling guys, do better. Having a big household is not an excuse to have a messy house. Keeping it comfortable and warm and clean is really central to what the heart of the home does. So I really encourage the ladies out there to, up your cleaning game. You can do it really fast. You got to move fast. You got to be efficient.
I'm usually carrying things from room to room. Like I'm not going into rooms without like putting things away. And it's just something that's naturally like my temperament. Like I do not like clutter. I do not like mess. And so I joke with Tim, like I clean our house like 4 to 5 times a day. And by that, I mean, like I'm constantly just like reorganizing things or putting things away and that sort of thing. So, that becomes very like overwhelming when you have more and more kids. So we have instituted a policy with the kids. I call them sweep throughs. I was like, okay, you guys, we're going to take 10 minutes. We're going to sweep through the downstairs of the house. Everybody just straighten things back up again. And we do that frequently where we're, kind of all pitching in and just kind of taking care of, the obvious messes. Now, obviously, I'm the one that's going to be cleaning the toilets and the floors and the counters and that sort of thing because our little kids aren't doing that. But they know how to pick up some shoes and put them by the front door and that sort of thing. So I guess that's something that I actually do struggle with, if I'm being perfectly honest, is that the Mary and Martha story. Like I would be the one that would be like, if Christ is coming to my house, I would be the one that'd be like, okay, I'm going to make sure everything's tidy and everything. And that, I have to identify that in myself. And sometimes Tim really is great about just telling me, okay, you're going to just calm down about this. The house is a little bit messy right now, particularly when I was like on, just laid out with really bad nausea. He was always giving me these pep talks. Like, it's fine. You're going to just get through these couple of weeks. Everybody's going to be healthy. Everybody's going to be fine. The house is a little bit messy right now, but we're going to get through all this together.
Not by like trad Catholic standards, though. We've noticed trad Catholic families have really messy houses, and the wives are cutting themselves a wide berth. They're like, oh, I have 6 kids. Like, still keep it. It's more important to be clean. This is the opposite thing I tell you, because you're so good at holding yourself to account for cleanliness, and you don't really put it on the girls much. You never put it on me. You're like, make sure it's like hospital corners. I'm like, this is good. But the trad houses we've gone to, we noticed they're really messy, right?
Just like a lot of clutter.
A lot of clutter.
It's kind of the same attitude, and I know we're going to get some flack for this from like women who stay at home, where it's like, I've got so much to do, and I'm just like, embrace the busyness. Like, it's gonna be busy, and there's a great beauty in that, because that means your kids are home with you. And I've talked to a lot of elderly women who their kids have moved out of the house, and they always say the same thing. They're always just like, enjoy it. Enjoy them in your house.
And what do you guys have to do? I mean, women have cleaning to do. That's the main task. So
the older ladies have like the really clean houses, that they're like, that's what they're doing during the day. But it's like, I really do try. It's particularly important for me, for my girls, to know how to do a house well. Like, it's not just about keeping a clean home, because I know a lot of people might think, oh, that might be just vanity, that your house is always clean. No, my home to me represents like the place where our family loves and spends time together. And I don't want them, in an environment where it's just mess and just things are everywhere. It's important to me that we spend time to each other in a clean,
well, you're a human being,
happy space.
It's not like what's that village in India where they throw poo at each other? Like, we're human beings. We're not animals. Yeah. You don't have to explain these perceptual things to human beings. Like, human beings are meant to be clean. It's kind of disappointing to have to explain this to a bunch of Christians. Like, it does need to be clean. There should be, I'm telling you guys, to challenge yourself, ladies, hold yourself to account. The home place should be clean. It doesn't have to be, sterilized, and everything. The meals don't all have to be from scratch, right? That gets into trad larpiness, but just keeping stuff clean. I had a buddy, Kenny, big black cop, strong dude. And half the time he would just sweep through his apartment. We were good friends with him and his wife. Mm-hmm. He would just sweep through the apartment. He's like, I just have to have it clean. I'm like, yeah, I know. It's normal to want a house clean. You can eat some seed oils and make sure your homes are cleaner, ladies, and it's
worth it, because it's not just like trying to be mean to ladies, like your house is messy, but it's worth it because it is the place where your family gets together and you get to be together. And I've noticed that, at least for myself, like when my house is disorganized or there's just mess, it's like my mind is elsewhere. I'm not really like locked in what's going on. It's just a distraction, and it's just not a very pleasant thing to be around, like clutter and mess and that sort of thing. So I really do take that very seriously. I'll say, like,
and we shouldn't have to explain this to you either.
Yeah, okay. But it's like, people might say that it might sound kind of vanity, but have a
not vanity. It's a sanitation issue.
Cleanliness issue. So Josh asks, Christmas and holiday traditions. Congrats on the addition to the family. Thank you very much.
Thanks. We love Santa Claus. We love trick-or-treating. We're Americans born in the late 20th century and going into the 21st century, and we're not LARPs. So I love trick-or-treating with my kids. It's my second favorite holiday. I love, the St. Nicholas lore. We kind of let our kids see the Christmas movies that build up St. Nick, Santa, and we love to indulge that. We just say, look, here's the way, with a mental reservation. Here's the way that this is what the story's seen. I've never seen Santa Claus, but here's he's a saint. He loved children, and it looks like he brought you presents, and here's these are what the movies tell us. And we like to be a part of things. To trads, again, pretending not to be part of a real time and a real place. Every human being has thrownness. That means you're part of a time and a place. Instead of pretending you're part of the Holy Roman Empire and saying my lord and my lady and acting like you're a crusader and shit, why don't you just embrace your own actual culture? Christmas, as pagan and secular as I guess it can be, is probably the most Christian part about America in 2025. Like, America loves Christmas. Yeah. It's fun, but it's Christian.
Obviously, yeah.
You can't say, well, it's not Christian because it's not all about gift giving. Well, no, it's all about Jesus, obviously.
We celebrate.
But don't be a dummy. We're celebrating Jesus, even if a lot of people, secularists, celebrate it too, and they've forgotten. They're celebrating our shit. Don't let them have it. Christmas is dope. We love Christmas. So we love to open one present on Christmas Eve. Steph always gets the kids new pajamas on Christmas Eve. Last year, we tried a new thing where we did like 6 days of Christmas, where we saved some gifts. And we did like the 5 days after Christmas because we love Christmas so much. We're always sad by Christmas night that it's over.
The tree's always dead. It's always like
the tree's dead. The presents are open. So we saved a lot of presents. I don't know if the kids want to do that again. We let the kids kind of decide new stuff, but we love Christmas movies. We try to hold that shit in abeyance until after Thanksgiving because I don't like Thanksgiving getting passed over. I don't like starting the Christmas season like November.
That's a big one.
Yeah.
Like that's a big one. You tell us in chat what you guys think about this, but I am of the mind. I do not have a thing of Christmas up until Thanksgiving has had its proper due. Like, well, they're gonna,
and we're also gonna get. Oh man, I didn't even foresee this. We're gonna get hit with the Advent Nazis. You know that are like, well,
but
you can't.
Decorations are different, right? Like it's like I don't have.
No. The Advent Nazis. Hold on. Let's. Because I didn't mean to even step into this.
Oh boy.
They're gonna say the Christmas season doesn't begin till Advent's over.
Yeah.
They're so terrible. I mean, no. So remember, there's a pink Advent calendar. So it's a penitential time, but it's not Lent. It is Christmas time in December. Okay. I don't care. Saint Nick's feast day is like the first week of December. Okay. That they put that there for a reason. Saint Nick's feast day is there. December's cold. Cold time, if you're a Christian, is Christmas time. It's post-Thanksgiving. If you were born in America and you live in America, you know Christmas season begins after Thanksgiving. I'm sick of the trad larp where you say Advent can't also be Christmas time. What's that pink calendar? What's that pink candle doing there among the three purple candles? It's because, yes, it's penitential, but it's also joyful.
Right.
So, yes, Christmas season, if you believe in culture, maybe you just don't believe in culture. You think you can exist and celebrate holidays in a vacuum, but you can't. Our culture is we start celebrating on, the day after Thanksgiving.
Yeah, half the time we're on a walk in the neighborhood and people have like the Christmas trees up, and it's like half of me wants to knock on the door and just be like, "What are you doing?" Right?
You mean before Thanksgiving?
During Thanksgiving, okay. After Thanksgiving, fine. Knock yourself out with all the Christmas stuff, but
we do.
Thanksgiving needs its propers again. Like it's just like I'm sorry, like not a thing of Christmas is up in my house until the day after Thanksgiving. And it's like we were joking about this the other day because we were laughing at ourselves because I'm like, why am I such a curmudgeon about this? Because a lot of people, obviously it's just a joyful thing. People are like, I love Christmas. I want to have this stuff up. And I'm always like, no. And we have to honor Thanksgiving. Like
ours is a funner type of curmudgeonliness than the Advent Nazi curmudgeonliness. They're just trying to tell you how pious they are, which is what dorks always do.
Like decorating the tree. Don't
decorate the tree during Advent. It's like, no, two things can exist at once. The pink, the joyful, the gaudium can coexist with the purple. Okay. And it does. We just don't want the stagflation of Christmas fun and Christmas valuation that occurs at the detriment of Thanksgiving in November. It's not even the same month. So we're being curmudgeons in as fun a way as we can toward the preservation of keeping Christmas special. It's a December thing, by St. Nick's feast day. You're inside of 3 weeks to Christmas. That's really fun. That's the funnest, happiest, most exciting time of the year, particularly for kids. In a household of 8 children, it's just a lot of fun. And no, we don't hold it in abeyance until like the last week before Christmas. That would be a waste of the funnest season of the year. At the same time, we have Advent candles up and stuff, but they're not mutually exclusive, Advent season and Christmas season. So that's something I really wanted to address there. Again, we're non-LARP people.
If we're going to be completely honest, it's like a confession. We leave our Christmas tree up way too long. Like way too long. It's like brown. And that's the other thing. We're not fake Christmas tree people. We are out chopping down our tree and putting them like a real live tree in our house. It's like very important. One time I suggested to you, I think I remember, I was like, wouldn't it be a little easier just to do like a fake one? And you were like, you shut your mouth. We're not ever getting a fake tree.
I can't believe that those words even came.
I know. I don't think you've gotten over it that I've ever even suggested that. So but it is funny because I'm sure many Americans, sometime in late January, February, we take our tree out of our house and dump it in the woods like real faithful Americans. olive trees like in the woods near our house from like Christmases of past. So that's just tradition. That is tradition around here.
What's the stance on screen time? We don't have a stance on screen time. We don't need a stance on screen time. I mean, when you hang out with your kids the amount that you're supposed to, you don't have a stance. It's like asking, what's the stance on like how often do you talk about, the rainforest? Like, well, we talk about the rainforest the proper amount of time. So when it's nice outside, I like the kids to get outside and play, and half the time I'll go play hide and seek or basketball or ride bikes with them. If it's not nice outside, they're going to probably play a little bit more on the iPads or on the Switch.
We are a big video game family. I know that, again, departing from traddom on that one. Huge video game family. We play our Switch a lot. Like I play individually. I love the Zelda games. I love Donkey Kong. I love all that stuff. Mario, we play everything. Mario Kart, we're really into. And we always have, Tim and I, like we're of the generation where it's like that's, we're the Nintendo generation. So it's like, I love it. I absolutely love it. It's super fun. Like, I really enjoy playing with our kids, like, or individually. So it's like, the video games do not, like, I do not care about the video games. I know a lot of people like freak out about that, but it's like, for me, it's like, it's fun. It's something we like to do together and individually. So it's like, whatever. If you have free time, why not?
How often is date night? We used to be once a week. We need to get back to that. Had a crazy latter half of 2024 and 2025. We got off the weekly date night, but we've been doing that for about 3 years, and it was really fun. I was getting sort of having a hard time. Haven't been drinking the last year and a half or two. It's fun to have a drink or two together and to go get a steak. And
that sounded like you had like an alcohol problem. Alcohol problem.
No, it was the minor health stuff I've talked about. It would upset some of that. So we were just not feeling great the last year and a half physically. Had a number of things. Had a hernia. I had that hernia. Had some issues. So we'll get back to it though. Once a week is really good if you can swing it.
Yeah, that was a really great tradition that we had. And we have children now that are old enough that they can watch some of the other kids when we're out. And again, it's like we'll go out for dinner, and we're lucky enough to have a restaurant very close by to our house, and our daughters are very responsible. And what we really like to do is we like to do a later dinner so that a lot of the kids we can just put to bed, and some of the older kids can just like watch movies and that thing. So
yeah, do that. I mean, I think that's really helpful. We would, and now we got that restaurant we've been waiting for right near our house to open. It's new steakhouse took right around the corner. So you haven't even been there yet.
No, we need to go.
It opened honestly, 2 months ago, and you've been sick the whole time.
I've been feeling horrible. My queasiness the first 3 months was again, it was so bad that it's like, I'm just going to be completely honest with you guys. Like it was bad. Like it was so bad where it's like even like standing up and walking around was like, I couldn't handle it. It was like it was just so bad. I felt so awful about myself because it's like I just wanted to do normal things. I wanted to do like the housework. I wanted to do all the normal things. Tim's taking the kids on bike rides like 4 or 5 times a day, like it was the beginning of fall. Everybody's like having a nice time. It's like Halloween is there, and I'm just like just in absolute misery. So it's nice to be back among the living, so to speak. So
the cool thing about date night is, do what you want to do. Do whatever you guys love to do together as a couple that floats your boat, that brought you together. Maybe when you were originally dating in high school or college or whatever, do that. But we just like talking. And so it's not like we always had to go to dinner. We had one place we'd go to dinner, and it's probably a 9-minute drive away. You're always a little worried what's going on. You have a 17-year-old and a 14-year-old kind of watching the others, mainly the 14-year-old. With the youngest one's in bed already, you're always a little worried. But if it's like a 2-hour, you're gone for 2 hours because you're 9 minutes away, there's a basic feel of safety, subsidiarity. You need to be pretty close to the nest. That place was about 9 minutes away. We would go. Now this one is like a minute outside the neighborhood, this new steakhouse we haven't been to yet. So that's going to be awesome because we never felt we needed to go to dinner and then a movie. No. Like we watch a lot of movies with the kids. Sometimes we'll watch movies, just Steph and I. You could do that at home. So we really liked to go out, have a couple drinks. We don't tend to drink a lot, but go out, have a couple drinks. I'd have a martini, get a steak, just talk. I mean, it's just so much fun to talk. We like talking to each other, and you can't do it in the same way across all contexts. So when you're facing each other, and you both look nice, you're dressed up, and you're like, let's have a conversation, is really important, and it's nice. And we're going to be able to do that even more with this new fancy steakhouse. It's like a minute outside our neighborhood.
Yeah, we could take a golf cart. We can like rent our neighbors or borrow our neighbor's golf cart and just like scurry over there. We want to do that. But I will say, very, very important. Even if you have, 10 kids, you really should be putting each other first. Still, with the many children that you have, your children will actually benefit from that. So date nights as often as you can afford to do so, even if it's not like a fancy steak night or whatever. Even if you're just going to like get shakes or something, just that you're alone together, spending time, dressed up is a big deal too. Like dress up for each other, that sort of thing. Very, very important. We've been married now 20 years, and it's like you want to just still feel like you're really trying for each other, and we always recommend people do that.
Yeah, that's so. What does it look like? If you have, and honestly, we started letting Abby's a bit older than Maggie, but Abby's different. She's different because she's not watching the other kids. She's on the couch. She's happy. Mm-hmm. She's the eldest one, but she's handicapped. So I think we started having Maggie babysit. And we'd put the youngest ones to bed. It would be Maggie and the twins when she was like 12, 13, because you could be gone, an hour 45.
It depends on your kid. If you have a particularly precocious child who's like responsible. I mean, again, Maggie's like a kind of a second mommy around here. She's so good. My daughter, Maggie, is so good. Like I'll just notice her. She'll just like change a diaper. She's like picking things up. It's just her, like, she's just very maternal that way.
Yeah.
And so it just depends, I guess, on the child.
We would always be like, don't eat. We'll bring you guys back McDonald's.
Right.
Don't eat.
We don't
eat anything. Don't even eat a grape, especially not a grape. Grapes are like the mortal foe of parents because they're so
terrified of my kids having grapes.
This is one of those things. This isn't like, that's a wife guy. That's a dad guy. I don't talk about that shit, but I'll tell you this. Anyone out there, young parents, middle-aged parents, old parents of young kids, grapes are they're terrifying because kids are so bad at eating them, and they will make your kid choke. And that's like the number one household hazard is choking. Watch out for choking. It's so scary. It's so scary.
You can do nothing. It's so just standing there. It's like, and it's a silent thing. I'm like so terrible. I am literally, that's probably my worst fear is the choking.
Don't let your kids eat even little snacks when you go out. You don't need a fancy babysitter if you have a responsible 12 or 13-year-old, but tell them not to eat. That's okay.
It's funny. It's crazy with the grapes because if our kid has a grape, I'm like a weird psycho mom where I'm like watching them. Like, have you finished it? Okay, let me see it. It's crazy. We have a question in chat. Tim, how would you recommend that young men, the young men to help their pregnant women do just a few things now?
Like, could we get some specifics? I don't do a lot.
I would say this is what I noticed with Tim. Like, I do try not to, when I have my C-sections, Tim is, it's probably like TMI, but it's like, he has to help me do a lot of like functions, like the first week, like, helping me walk to, like, basically carrying me to the bathroom and things like that, because it's intense after. But I try not to during the pregnancy to be, like too demanding. Like, I'm not asking him for like buying me things like, I want this combination of food or that sort of thing.
I try to get you peppermint tea and
you're
stuff
very
like
good about that. I would just say one of the things that you're good at, and I think that I would say, just be patient with your wife when she's pregnant. I think the best thing you can do is just be patient, because we're hormonal and we feel like just ginormous, and like there's a lot going on in 9 months. It's kind of amazing to me that babies are actually, like, it only takes 9 months to build an entire human in your body. But on the flip side of that, there's a lot going on with your wife and her hormones and her brain and everything that's going on. So just patience, just try to be patient.
Am I pretty patient?
You're very good at that. You're so good at that, actually, that I end up feeling guilty, because if I'm just like feeling like particularly gross one day, or just like in a kind of a bad mood because I'm just not feeling my physical best, like, I know I can see it with you that you're trying to kind of bridge that gap for me, and then I feel bad, because then I'm just like, I need to kind of step up a little bit and not be putting him in this position where he's feeling like he's having to exert patience to deal with me. So I think.
Do ladies like it? Yeah, we're not trying to have a soundbite or be edgy, but do ladies like it when people lie to them about how great they look when they're pregnant?
See, that's the thing. I've never been like that. Like, I know that some women might be like, oh, you're glowing or you have this. It's like, it's a time that your body is going to be distorted in all sorts of ways. Like, it's not a particularly glamorous time, nor really should it be. Like, my body is doing something right now that is like, I thank the Lord. Like, again, like, because I do embrace true biblical femininity. It's like, I'm doing something right now that like no men can't do. Only women can do this. And so I really do try to embrace that and be so thankful for that. And I do try to like, curb the vanity, because it's like, before this pregnancy, I was actually trying to lose some weight and, in my 40s, get like, fitting trim and that sort of thing. And then I got pregnant and I went the opposite direction. And it's funny because women who've had multiple kids know what I'm talking about. If your first, your wife is pregnant for the first time in her 20s, it's like, she's probably not going to start showing until she's maybe 3 or 4 months along, if that. But at my age, with how many kids I have, I can be like an hour pregnant and I'm already like bursting at the seams. So, it's just like that kind of stuff that you have to just kind of let go of. It's like, okay, I'm not going to be looking my very best, start feeling my very best. And, my hormones get me everywhere.
If you have a pretty wife, you have a pretty wife. And I do, but like, it's just, there's a lot of post-feminist nonsense about, oh, pregnant women are at their most beautiful. It's just nonsense. I don't think anyone likes to be condescended to. Anyone of intelligence doesn't like to be condescended to.
I don't.
I knew I got really skinny when I couldn't lift weights before I had that hernia surgery. Then I got like skinny fat. And until you can just start lifting weights again, it's like, well, I mean, don't tell me I look better than when I'm lifting weights and walking, our 4 or 5 miles every day. Like, if you're intelligent, you don't appreciate that sort of stuff.
I was joking with you, like on a walk the other day. I was like, if it were up to me, it would just be like the old days where it's like, I'm pregnant. I'm just like in a room and nobody sees me for like the next until I emerge with a baby and like less weight that I had. So it's like, I would just be. This might be actually the last time people see me in a while, because it's like, I'm not somebody who wants to be like out there, like, oh, my big pregnant belly and everything. So no, I don't like to be condescended to. And I would prefer to be told the truth. Like Pam in the office, when she asks Dwight, when she's super pregnant, she's like, Dwight, am I attractive right now? And he's like, you're at your all-time low, because she was just like,
I also don't like about that Office episode, I think that's season 8, where she's extra fat. She got extra fat and she's like, well, like, you don't have to get fat when you're pregnant. You never do. But like, so don't use pregnancy as an excuse to get fat. But even women who just get the distended belly, and you can't help that.
I have it right now.
Yeah, it looks odd. It's not your fault. It's not beautiful. It's like an oblong football there. Don't use this as an excuse to get fat. On the other extreme, don't no one tell them that this is like the normal state of affairs, or this is like the desirable human frame or something like that. It's just literally, God bless women for having our babies. Not to white knight. They just don't take advantage. They have to get weird when they're pregnant. They're going to get weird shaped. Don't take advantage of
everything. But it's also just like, you don't want to. The more that you indulge during your pregnancy, it's going to be harder to lose that weight afterwards. And you really should lose the weight afterwards. I know a lot of women, it's hard because it's like, it's recovering from birth and what have you. But if you don't get rid of it, then it just stacks for each pregnancy. And so I try to it's harder because I am like hungrier, so to speak, but it's like, I do try to like watch myself. I try to stay active and that sort of thing during my pregnancies, because I know it's like, it's just going to be harder afterwards to just get back to good health.
Well, you always get back to your weight. Every pregnancy, you always get back to the same weight or even lower. So
we have a question on that. Steph, how do you find time to work out? Have me time? Do you wake up early? Thank you. I never wake up early. I never wake up early. That's one of the things I do appreciate again about Tim, is that he's very good about understanding that I am a person that requires a lot of sleep. I do not like getting up early. And so he just lets me, take the schedule that I take. The way we work out, and it's actually working great even still in pregnancy, is that Tim and I would walk typically together 5 miles a day. And that is enough to keep you fighting trim. And we did the research on this, and actually it turns out that walking 5 miles a day is the equivalent of running 3, which is really shocking at first because you're like, really? Is it that good? It is that good. I'll tell you this. I am a person, I'm not like a person who doesn't like eating. Like, I love a good meal. Like, I love, like, you know, sweets and all that stuff. I'm not like a, you know, crunchy mom by any stretch of the imagination. If there's like a bag of chips out, I'll take a few, you know. So I still would eat that way and walk 5 miles, and it still kept me in really pretty good shape. And I can do it now pregnant too. So it's like, it's a good time. If you can do it with your husband, that's even better, because Tim and I really enjoy that time together, especially since we haven't been able to go on our weekly dates. So sometimes we'll walk, you know, late at night. You know, it'll be dark out and the kids will be going to bed, and Tim and I will take a few laps around the neighborhood together. And sometimes we have to break it up throughout the day. Like, we're going to do that today. But walking is very underestimated, and it actually is quite good for you, surprisingly enough.
Yeah, it's surprising.
Let's see here. Read some of these. God bless y'all from Ocean Springs, 43 years old here, and a measly 202 is driving me nuts. Time to sack up on my part. Thanks for your content. Gosh, we've had, so we have, right now we will have 3 in diapers when the baby's here, because Abby's always in diapers because she's handicapped. So yeah, no, we get it. Kelly H. just became a YouTube member. Thank you very much. Okay, so Klitzy said, Canon 1135, quote, each spouse has an equal duty and a right to those things which belong to the partnership of conjugal life. They want your comment on that, honey. And Advent time is not Christmas time. Congrats on you, baby. God bless.
No. Okay. Advent time is Christmas time culturally. It's not in the church calendar. They're different things. Mm-hmm. So it actually is Christmas time in American culture. And it's not like, finding something joyful during Advent proves that there's some ostensible necessary tension between American culture and church calendar culture, because the pink candle proves the whole case. So that's that. I already tended to that. That's the last word on that. That you know, you wouldn't expect in the liturgy expressions of the gaudium of Christmas, except on the third Sunday of Advent. That's just the liturgy. That's only liturgical. So people misunderstand the liturgical calendar as saying, like, in ordinary time, it has to be an ordinary day or something. It's like, well, that's an equivocal use of language. It just means liturgically what we should express, what we should expect to see expressed by the liturgy is going to be different. That doesn't mean you can't put Christmas lights on your house. That's what people who don't understand signifiers and language do. Now, what was the other question? Each spouse is a canon. Each spouse has an equal duty and right to those things which belong to the partnership of the conjugal life. Yeah, so Pius XII said this. He said this is what this is the only meaning of mutual submission is the conjugal debt. This is the only thing where we are equal. Is not just men have rights to the women's body, to their wives' bodies. Wives have rights to their husbands' bodies. This is the one area where Christianity teaches husbands and wives are the same, is conjugal debt. And they treat that like the one area where it's different and it's only men wanting sex from women. That's just a lie. In all other ways, men are in charge and there's no such thing as mutual submission. I'm going to say too, I'm going to get this up on the screen. I'd like to take a second to talk about the submit to each other out of reverence of Christ. I saw there was an eruption on Twitter about this recently, and people like to talk about that. Let me see if I can show this on the screen real quick. Here you go. But they don't like to talk about the next verse. So when we're talking about scripture here on this submit to each other out of reverence for Christ, it tells us specifically, men and women, what we submit to each other. And they are not the same things. And that's the same thing. Like the feminists like to take that submit yourselves to one another out of reverence for Christ and be like, yes, see, the husband can't tell the wife what to do. Not true. That is a lie. And it's so manipulative, because scripture, the very next verse goes on to say, this is why mutual submission is a complete fabrication lie, because it says, wives, submit to your husbands as to the Lord. As to the Lord. For a husband has authority over his wife, just as Christ has authority over his church.
And Christ himself is the savior of the church, his body. So wives submit completely to their husbands, just as church submits itself to Christ. I mean, which
Pretty
is
satisfying.
It's so satisfying. But then it goes on, it says, and then it tells men that they have to love their wives. So what it says to submit yourselves to one another, it's submit different things. Wives have to obey and respect their husbands. And then scripture says, what does a husband have to do? He has to love his wife. So they're not the same things. We do not submit to each other the same things. We submit each other very different things. And scripture specifically says what those things are. And women freak out because we have to obey our husbands and respect our husbands. And it's not the other way around. Okay, so moving on.
We need super chats. If you guys,
that's what these are. Super chats.
Super chat us. Continue super chatting. Big super chats. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.
And small super chats. Thank you.
All colors of the bow. Super chats. Congrats. How often are you able to make it to the gym? We just do walking around our neighborhood. We just walk 5 miles around our neighborhood.
Well, I have a gym in my garage, so So every day when health permits, I lift weights every day when health permits.
Congrats on number 8. So pumped. Thank you for your example.
Thank you.
Thank you. Please pray for me.
You don't have to LARP to do the things that count the right way, traditionally. You don't have to LARP on the other stuff. You don't have to do farming. What do they call it? The farm. You don't have to do that. Yeah, homesteading. You don't have to do, a certain diet. You don't have to. And it was one of these new weirdo diets. You don't have to do anything. You just keep a clean house. Do homeschool your kids. That's not LARPing. There's no reason to not be homeschooling your kids. Homeschool your kids. Keep your wife at home. Have a good time together. You need one car. You don't need 2 cars in every garage. This is how you keep stuff lean and fun when you're not spending your resources and your time on a bunch of misidentified desiderata. Like if you're like, look, I want as much time as I can with my wife and my kids, so I don't want to be paying for 2 cars. Well, then keep your wife at home, your kids at home. They don't have to be schlepped around during the day. That's how you keep it real as a trad Christian family.
Somebody said, can you talk more about Harry Potter? Father Ripperger advised against it, so I'm just confused about it.
Well, I mean, the problem with the Harry Potter stuff is the church has never taught it's wrong. When you ask the folks, why do you think it's wrong? They say, well, because there are wizards and witches. Well, there are wizards and witches in Lord of the Rings, and this is a Catholic book. And
they'll say the spells. But there's spells also in Lord of the Rings.
Gandalf says spells. No, it doesn't work like that. People who like Harry Potter, sort of a less good this generation's Lord of the Rings, the people that say that it's somehow anathema to being a Catholic, since the Pope never said this. The Pope said this about the Da Vinci Code. Benedict XVI did. When no Pope has ever said this, and there's nothing ostensibly wrong about it, there's nothing ostensibly different from Lord of the Rings about it, then no, the onus is on you to say why you think it's wrong. It's a fun, harmless little kid's book. And, Trent Horn, actually, is one thing we agree on. Trent did a great show on Harry Potter. There's just none of the claims against it stand up. So, and
she herself claims to be a Christian, and she also has been out against the whole trans feminine thing. So, I don't know.
I don't even care about that stuff, though. It's she's I'm sure a libtard feminist. Who cares? The books are nice. They're fun. The books aren't great. The movies are really fun.
Yeah.
And there are 8 of them. What I like, I'll tell you what's more important to me than because some retard on here told me the other day, if you watch a werewolf movie, you're going to get possessed. So if you're that kind of retard, you're probably not in this audience. But what I'm not worried about my kids getting possessed by mummies or ghouls or werewolves.
Frankensteins.
Right? Don't let them play with Ouija boards. Don't let them, worship the occult. Do I have to tell you this? Are you retarded? But, having fun together is what there's too little of in American families, including trad families. And part of it's just, have you ever noticed how, let's watch a family movie? It's really hard to get one. What I love about the Harry Potter movies is if you start the first one You know what you're doing the next night. You're going to the second one. You don't have to rack your brain for 45 minutes to find the movie to watch. If you watch the second one last night, you're watching the third one tonight. There's joy in that. There's a comfort in that. You know where you're going. Fourth one next night. If you start movies early one night, maybe you watch the fifth and the sixth that fifth night. So I love that. I love series. We just went through the Rockies, all of us together. And there's more value in that, just the comfort of knowing something's coming next, that for me to do with my family that we all enjoy together. We have popcorn. We'll be eating a dessert together. We'll be making jokes. If it turns out a bad movie, we'll kind of be mocking it together.
That's fine.
There's more comfort in knowing where the next meal's coming from, so to speak, food for thought, food for entertainment, than in, freaking out about, like, is my kid going to become a school shooter because he watched like School of Rock or something like that. I'll never be like those of you who are like that in that way. Sorry.
And it's not to diminish what Father Ripker is saying, because I mean, I can see where some people might, like in this, particularly in the secular world, might take like really any story about like witchcraft, spells and that sort of thing, and try to dabble in that sort of stuff, like through the occult or tarot cards or Ouija boards or that sort of thing. So that it makes sense to me. But again, we're a Catholic household. Like, I'm not going to tolerate our kids like doing that sort of thing. Now, if they want to have like watch a movie about, dragons or Lord of the Rings or Harry Potter, any of these sorts of things, like we know how to like incorporate that into our household without somebody like joining the occult or like doing something like crazy. So
and so do all smart. A lot of this stuff. Look, a lot of this stuff's an IQ gate. So you have to ask yourself: are you a retard? Are you a retard? And if you've never asked yourself that, you might be one. But if you think that if you watch like a PG movie, you're gonna become like your head's gonna start spinning out and vomiting green pea soup, then you're probably a retard. Like, yes, there are retards out there. Like, anything can get you possessed. You can get possessed by the devil by being too into the game of Monopoly, right? If you start worshiping money and you become Illuminati or something. So that's not the test. The test is not, is it conceivable that I get too into this or that creature? I'm too into entertainment. I'm not paying enough attention to my prayer life. That can make you possessed, but it's not likely to make you possessed if it's a good movie by actually a kind of liberal Christian woman who just wanted to write a fun story about a boy and his wand or whatever. That sounds kind of weird.
Sounds a little strange. Was there more questions that you had on text?
No, that's good. We could do the super chat, because people will ask me this. I mean, this is the place to ask. This is the This is the time. This is the time to be. People will text me. People who, I don't even know how you have my number. They'll text me, "Hey Tim, what do you do with this? What do you think about that?" I'm like, this is the time. Cooking's an interesting one, because you're more of a stickler for cleaning than cooking. Yeah, if I'm going to be perfectly honest, another confession of mine is that I'm way more into like the cleaning aspect than the cooking. I enjoy cooking, but I don't necessarily enjoy like doing it all the time. And so we've talked a lot in our household about, like, just again, taking us back to the beginning of the show, how it's just really important for us to have a lot of time together. So if there's something that I can, make dinner quickly or whatever, that's fine. I don't need to spend all day working on something, because I'd rather spend that time with Tim and the kids doing something fun together. Also, our house is kind of an interesting layout where it's kind of a bit more old school, where it's like the kitchen is, connected, but it's not like I can look into the living room and that sort of stuff. So when I'm in the kitchen, I'm a little bit more away from what's happening near Mega Couch, where the action is all happening with everybody playing games and stuff. So, it's, for me, it's like, if you can afford to like order in every now and again, just to have that family togetherness, I don't see anything wrong with that at all. We all like to go out to eat. I think we're going to do that today to celebrate something else that we'll have to announce hopefully next week. But it's like, it's, to me, overarchingly, I think our theme is time together. I know that it's very important for me, I'll say this, to teach our girls the feminine arts. So when I am spending a lot of time in the kitchen, like doing like complicated recipes, it's usually with my girls, kind of preparing them for the vocation of motherhood and wifeliness, so they know how to do more specific things in the kitchen.
And, we do lots of things like watercolor, garden. We sew. We all learned how to sew and make dresses a couple of years ago. So the things that we do, that we spend a lot of time on, we try to do it as a group as much as possible. Because again, your kids are not going to be in your house that much, for that long. They're just not. And I'll say this too, the date nights are great in the mix of that, because at some point your kids are going to leave your house, and you don't want, we also don't want the flip side of things where it's like you're so used to being around each other all the time as a huge group. And then your kids, you have an empty nest and you don't really know how to relate to your spouse anymore. So you really do, there needs to be a lot of balance between, making sure you're spending time as a family and spending time solo as spouses, because that's probably more important, honestly. Here's a question. Sincere question. What about a movie that is pretty good but drops our Lord's name? Genuine question. Is it okay to play it? I'm asking as a retard. I always finish that when people say like blasphemous names for our Lord. I'll always finish it in my head. Like if they say JC, I'll always in my head say, is Christ and King? Like I always, maybe that's like a babyish thing, but I always like
every time
I hear it, I will literally finish the sentence. I'll add the sentence in my head. Christ is King. Is Christ is King.
Well,
yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. Stranger Things was our favorite series. They say it a lot. It does make me unhappy that they say it a lot, but you have to understand how formal cooperation works. That as long as you dislike that they're saying it, you don't incur their sin any more than if you're in the room with someone and they litter a piece of garbage. Was that you? No. I mean, you're probably not even rooting for it. Or if you see them flog a baby harp seal, did you? Is that your sin? No. Or you see someone. I mean, as long as you're not rooting for it, I just don't understand why people would feel like they incur that sin. It's not. Yeah,
we don't really.
I don't pretend. I don't like it. How much the movies, and we don't watch much TV, but Stranger Things will say JC or GD, and that is a way I do not. That is a mortal sin to say it. It's not a mortal sin to accidentally like register it in your tympanic membrane. So I can't even get to a space where I would think it's wrong unless I were like, maybe if you were cheering that the Lord's name is being taken in vain, it would be a mortal sin, maybe, because you'd be formally cooperating. But if you dislike it, it has nothing to do with you.
Yeah, if you find it disgusting, it's like we encounter things all the time where we're just like, yeah, I don't agree with that. That's vile. That's blasphemous or whatever. And it's as long as your interior disposition is aghast against the evil, then it's like I don't.
Well, someone says they voted for Hillary Clinton in 2016. Does that mean you voted for Hillary Clinton in 20? It's just such an odd position. I don't. It's an aspect about reverting to the faith, about sort of the way religious people will talk that I'll never understand. Like, no, that's not on you. If it doesn't get communicated to you as a sort of communicable culpability or something like that. Like if you're in a room with someone, you visit the guilty accused in a prison, you're not going to become a murderer by talking to a murderer. If Netflix is putting out content that takes the Lord's name in vain, you can consume the content. You probably don't even have the script memorized. I don't. I've watched Stranger Things a bunch of times. It's on them. It's not on you.
Right.
It's a really weird thing to have been normalized by religious people. Oh, can I hear that? It's like, well, it's not your fault. It's their fault. It's a bunch of Jews in Hollywood. Trust me. I grew up in and around LA. My mom's best friend is a USA Today movie reviewer. My mom, my parents were Angelinos. We, know a lot of people, adjacent to the movie industry. It's a bad business. That doesn't mean that if you watch a show or a movie that you're formally cooperating with it.
Mm-hmm. Sean Humphrey said, I'm feeling a little saucy today. Thank you. Thanks, guys, for all you do. Thanks. So if you guys have any more questions, you can just add them into Super Chat and we will answer those questions. Let's see here. See if I missed any. Yeah, people are asking about, so it's going to be, so this is baby number 8. There'll be, it's a girl. So we have 7 girls now, and we have 1 son. 1 son.
Wow.
Kind of amazing.
I have just 1 son.
I'm the father of just 1 son. So funny. Somebody said that they think that you should do a whole show on how to discern what's acceptable in television. That's so funny. I mean, you would actually be good at that, honestly. You would have a lot to say about it.
Just don't do it yourself. If you're an aspiring actor out there, no, you can't get a kind of diplomatic immunity for a script that says JC or GD or OMG. You're not allowed to do it. You're not allowed to. So being an actor doesn't suffice. I wouldn't say it does, but that's a sin by the writer and the actor and the studio who promulgates it. But I mean, just watching it passively and hating it, you're not even materially cooperating with it. I mean, it's literally just being spoken into the air that sonically goes into your ears and you hear however sound works.
Your tympanic membranes.
Yeah. There's such an odd perspective to me that if you witness a murder, you're the murderer, you hear it. It's like, bro, I got a million flaws. That's not one of them. I have enough to be sorry for. That's not it. Me hearing someone be disrespectful about our Lord's name.
Somebody said, hey, I heard you say monarchism is a lark for Americans, but what about for us Europeans? A lot of countries here already have some form of monarchy. They just need more power. Love the show.
Yeah, I mean, there's a historic monarchy that's connected to remnants of the Holy Roman Empire in a lot of places in Europe. Since the 17th, 18th, 19th centuries really killed it. I have no problem in theory with Europe or theoretically even America going to a monarchy. It's like saying, are we going to have a Caesar? I mean, yeah, theoretically it's not wrong. If the government is oriented toward the common good, then it can be a good form of government is a rule by one, rule by few, rule by many. Those are the 3 acceptable Catholic political regimes. I'm just saying it's not likely. It's just a likeliness thing. And I don't think Europe is very likely at this point to return to a monarchy, probably more likely than America. There's such a Whig tradition in America of mistrusting monarchy that it's probably even less likely.
Somebody's asking, what kind of music do we listen to? You probably would be surprised. Like, I like the Deftones. I like old school, a lot of old school rock, a lot of alternative stuff. Sunny Day Real Estate is one of my favorite bands. Gosh, I'm kind of like, I grew up in a family that was really, really, really into music. Like my dad is an acoustic guitar player. All of his brothers were as well. And so they just loved almost every genre. I mean, I'm talking like punk rock, like the Sex Pistols to Dolly Parton. You know what I mean? So it's like they know a lot about a lot of different music. So Tim and I both really, really love music. But I would say I'd like more of the kind of the harder stuff, like the Deftones and things like that. How about you?
Yeah, hard rock. Many of you know I played in a hard rock band. Actually, that's where we met. Was in a club in Dalton, not like some gay dance club, but
it was my first time being at a club. Just so we're clear, because I got invited. But
rock club. You saw my band play, and we like the hard rock music. I'm a white person, so I'm not like a rap lover or anything. I'm not a wigger.
Yeah,
there's a lot of wiggers out there nowadays, but yeah, I'm a white person, so I grew up really liking hard rock.
What's your favorite song?
I mean, it's not a deep track, but my favorite Deftones song of all time is "Change in the House of Flies."
That's a great song.
Not necessarily. I love "Say It Ain't So" by Weezer is a really good one. I like the Planet Caravan cover, last song on "Far Beyond Driven" by Pantera.
You can't go wrong with Blue Album. Weezer. Yeah,
Weezer Blue Album's great. I like the closing song on Weezer Blue Album. I like Freedom, the closing song on the first Rage Against the Machine album. I'm a big Soundgarden fan.
Temple of the Dog.
Fell on Black Days. Yeah, Temple of the Dog. One of my all-time favorite songs is Hunger Strike. Yeah, Pearl Jam, their first album, 10, is one of my favorite albums. What else? Fell on Black Days is one of my favorite
Old school Tool's not bad too.
Yeah. I like some Tool. It's not among my favorite. I would say that, I mean, it's up there, but Hunger Strike by Temple of the Dog is really one of my all-time favorites. I like the Audio Slave song Out of Exile. Mm-hmm. The Deftones are probably our shared favorite.
We love it. My favorite songs are probably Where's My Mind by the Pixies. It fluctuates between that and actually Mazzy Star, Fade Into You. Incredible song. That girl has a voice. Like I love her voice. But old school stuff. Somebody saying Bare Naked Ladies or Ever Six. I don't know. Eve Six. Oh, Eve Six.
No, not so much the poppy stuff. But one sort of underground, ubiquitous, large, important emo adjacent band we both like is called Sunny Day Real Estate. It's a really, really, really good band. They have a wide sort of worldwide following, underground, but not underground.
So maybe they said they were kidding about the Bare Naked Ladies. The Bloodhound Gang. Like it's funny if you look at like our music list, it's like it's everything. It's like, I've got like Dolly Parton. We got old Johnny Cash on there. I would have had like some old school punk rock stuff.
A lot of New York hardcore, Snapcase, Earth Crisis.
Really
West
hardcore
Coast
stuff.
Hardcore.
Candiria
from Brooklyn, New York. Actually, my band opened for Candiria. Vision of Disorder from Long Island. Neck from Long Island. It's like I said,
Beastie Boys.
Snapcase from Buffalo, New York. I like Beastie Boys. Great musicians. A lot of them.
Putting Shame in Your Game is such a good song by Beastie Boys.
Yeah, I listened to Beastie Boys. I had my first Beastie Boys tape when I was 5 years old. Run DMC, I like. That's white friendly rap. But we're not. I mean, rock and roll kind of died. So when you're talking to younger people, they don't really know that music is made by instruments. That's
people used to meet in a garage and like
create
their
music
voice boxes
with musical instruments.
Yeah, and like wooden instruments like together in the same room. that happened. Also, June Carter Cash, amazing. Yeah, I love that kind of stuff. I also love what is her name? Peggy Lee. I like a lot of Peggy Lee. Like old school. Oh, Ella Fitzgerald. I love Ella Fitzgerald. I'll have Ella Fitzgerald, and our daughter loves Ella Fitzgerald. She knows all her songs. I like a lot of the big band stuff too. But yeah, predominantly I would say harder rock to like alternative rock is like what we're the most like into. So
what's the first? What is it? The first? Is it Fiona Apple?
I know that album cover that you're talking about. The Carrion by Fiona Apple is a great song. Yeah,
Carry On. That's a great album closer. I mean, that's really one of the great album closers of all time. I didn't even love all of her music, but there's still a lot of good. Check.
Did it do something weird?
Yes, y'all. Yeah, this is the mic. This mic's sensitive. There's a lot of good music happening in the late 90s, and it's unfortunate what my friend quite frankly has done deep dives on what they intentionally do to fold up one genre of music, the JJs, when they're like, okay, we're going to wrap up rock and now everything's going to be rap, or this bizarre mashup style of sort of blackified pop music. It's just terrible. Black Eyed Peas, everything is sort of post Black Eyed Peas mishmash now. It's terrible. And so Zoomers of all the good ideas and the re-embrace of Christianity and tradition that you guys have going for your generation, man, you have shitty music. I'm so sorry. It's all just this post-rap bullshit. It's terrible. I'm really sorry for you Zoomers that have never heard real music, or have only kind of heard it as a reliquary artifact kind of thing.
Yeah, it all just kind of sounds like the same, like audio mix, just not
slurry.
Not into that. We're old. I guess we're really showing our age now. Like these youngsters and their music.
No, it's not that. It's not the youngsters thing. It's that Gen Z listens to a kind of post-urban slurry of bullshit. That's what it is.
Yeah.
It's not. And I mean, we also aren't like lovers of the Beatles or anything like that. So it's just, but what you can respect about the Beatles is they used instruments to make music. This is a timeless thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if all you know is computer or synth generated quote unquote music, then you know, you're really impoverished sonically, and I'm sorry for you.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a youngster unk thing. See, I'm never going to embrace that because I know enough about what's going on to know you guys just have shitty music. Sorry.
Are we doing a locals show, post show?
Do you guys want us to? I mean, are there?
So.
Do the locals have extra questions? I'm
I
always
find
down
it.
to do it if they're like pounding us with questions. But sometimes we go on there and everyone's like, "Cool, what's up, yo?" Blah blah blah. Like
We can hop on there for a few minutes. I think I had an announcement on the locals page, and for YouTube members and SubscribeStar members, like we do live streams just with you guys. You can ask questions. Tim does. I'm only here every now and again, but I will put that link on locals and the YouTube membership page and SubscribeStar if you are monthly supporters. So, and hopefully we will have another exciting announcement next week. So
yeah, we should. Okay, well, we'll go do that local show now. We'll do it. God bless you guys all. Have a great weekend. Thanks for everything.